Hey guys, Gunner Run 13, and today I want to make a video talking a little bit about RAL. And during an SHTF crisis, you know, we as people who prepare ourselves for, certain things that may happen in the future, to, protect us and our family. We may prepare ourselves with, certain pieces of equipment, like, say, firearms to protect ourselves, food and water to sustain ourselves, We may plan ahead for shelter and protection and put together many plans and supplies ready to try to get us through almost any situation, which is very difficult. But because there's so many situations that can happen. But one thing I would like to know is how do we prepare mentally for a RAL or SHTF situation? How do we mentally prepare for something like that? All the preparation in the world of stocking up supplies and everything like that, will only go so far. If during a RAL situation or an SHTF situation things could get so bad so quick, we may not be mentally prepared to function, to do the things that we need to do to kick into survival mode. And on that same point, when do we, in a RAL situation or an SHTF situation, do we go into that survival mode? At what point do we actually, basically, what are our rules of engagement, in a RAL situation? At what point? There's different scenarios that can happen, from disasters to, stuff that can happen rather quickly, as opposed to, say, an economic breakdown, that can happen a little slower. At what point are our rules of engagement where we can actually pick up that firearm to defend our family and ourselves against others? Basic case in point, something that pops into my head is a scenario where maybe it is an economic breakdown or a breakdown of rule of law, okay, where we maybe feel threatened and need to protect ourselves and take up our arms. At what point do we fire a shot to protect ourselves? How far will we go? I mean, I'm probably pretty sure and probably right that most of you out there, have maybe never experienced dangerous situations with rounds, say, coming at you. Maybe used to sending rounds downrange that way, not rounds coming back this way. Maybe you might not be too experienced in having to take a life to protect yourself. That's a big step. That's a big thing to have to do. How do you plan on that mentally? Because give or take in a situation like that where we need to protect our family, our food and our preps, our supplies and everything, you may very well have to pull that trigger. And that's a big step. How do you prepare for something like that? And where are your rules of engagement where you will take that shot to protect yourself? So, because what I picture is a scenario, possibly maybe an economic breakdown, and where you can be in a situation to protect yourselves where you may take that shot. And a week later, you can see yourself 2 weeks later, maybe there is a rule of law again. And next thing you know, you find yourself in trial, or locked up for that, documentation on certain things like that might be very important too. You know, so you ever think about that, you know, maybe documenting what you have to do in these scenarios might be a good idea for future prosecutions if there are any. You know, thinking about that me personally will not stop me from having to protect my family and have to take that shot. You know, my family comes first. But, you know, what are your rules in engagement in a role situation, personally? You know, at what point would you have to take a life and actually pull the trigger? You know, we practice, we train, we stock, you know, for that. But at what point would you actually be able to pull the trigger and take another human life? It could be, you know, out of anger or fear, depending on how high the personal threat level is. You know, it could be out of it could be an accidental situation too. But these are things you'll have to be mentally prepared to deal with. You know, for a long time to come after that. So depending on how long a RALS or a SHT would last, you know, these things you're going to have to be mentally prepared to. I mean, we can all say right now that we prepare by stockpiling and training and practice shooting and all that. But how many people out there, you know, really thought about, you know, and throw out the G.I. Joe-ish factor and all that crap? You know, how many of you will know when it's right to when you have to stand up and pull that trigger? Everything is situational. I've said that many times. The logistics of prepping for every contingent is just astronomical. I mean, there's so many different factors. It's ridiculous. And that's where everything's situational, from your supplies. But, you know, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, see what everybody, you know, really has thought about mentally to be prepared for something like this. I mean, there's only so far we can go to mentally prepare for something like this. Most of us have never had to have lived through any kind of economic breakdown or mass disaster to the point of pure anarchy, of where we have to pick up our firearms, defend our own households and our family and our community members, and to band together as a community to protect others, and so on and so forth. You know, just the thought I was thinking about this morning. Thought I'd throw out there, guys, to you guys, when, you know, see what you guys think about it. Just another video, guys. It's gonna run 13. Let me know a few comments. Let me know what you think on the subject, and we'll talk to you later, guys. Gonna run 13.